In this lesson, we will refer to the different visual styles that we can apply to the 3D objects we create. Visual styles provide different ways to depict the objects and control how objects' edges, lighting, and materials appear. In AutoCAD, there are various visual styles. When you change the visual style of a viewport, changes appear immediately in it. In an AutoCAD file, you can open multiple viewports, as we learned in the previous lesson, and set a different visual style in each viewport. In the open file, I have selected the 3-viewport configuration. All 3 viewports display the same objects with different visual styles. Every time I activate a viewport, the active visual style appears at the top left of the window. To change the visual style of a viewport, I will expand the Visual Styles drop-down, which can be found in the View panel of the Home ribbon. First, I will select the 2D Wireframe style. This style displays objects using lines and curves, and we usually use this style in 2D drawing. Next is the Conceptual style. Objects are displayed using smooth shading between cold and warm colors rather than dark and light. The effect is less realistic, but it can make the details of the model easier to see. This time I will select the Hidden style, which displays 3D objects using wireframe representation and hides lines representing back faces. Next come the Realistic style, which displays 3D objects using smooth shading and materials. Let's move on to the Shaded style, which displays 3D objects using smooth shading. While the Shaded with Edges style displays 3D objects using smooth shading like the Shaded visual style, the edges in this one are visible. Similarly to the 2 previous styles, Shades of Grey displays 3D objects using smooth shading and monochromatic shades of grey. The Sketchy style, though, is quite different. As you can see, it displays objects with a hand-sketched effect. As for the Wireframe style, it displays 3D objects using lines and curves only. The difference between 2D wireframe and wireframe is something you can understand better if you see it directly in the drawing. So I will go to the bottom left viewport where the visual style is set as 2D wireframe. Notice that the edges of the object that are a different color are still visible in the viewport even if they are behind others. However, if I change the style to wireframe, only those in the front are visible. Last but not least, the X-ray style displays 3D objects with partial transparency.